Now, can you elaborate? What do you mean by ghost project?
Well, that ghost project is just like, for example, you see some line items whereby they may say construction of a road from town A to town B. And in another line item, you may see construction of a road from town B to town A.
Okay.
That is one. Another one is there are some projects that comes out every year and they are not traceable because they lack specification. There is no way you can trace them. So we term them, for example, let's say a construction of a water borough across cities or across towns in Ogun State. All those types of projects that gives a kind of, that will now start ransacking our sense of belonging. So those are the parts of the project that we categorize as ghosts, because we can't track them.
And they are worth 15.36 billion naira.
Yeah.
For the budget, revenue segment, the expenditure section on how many projects will be done in a year, how many will be executed in the space of one fiscal year, and all of that. But today in Nigeria, who tracks this project? Who ensures that project A is completed and project B is completed? This is what we want to be discussing this morning. We have the topic is tracking project performance of public office holders. Who tracks it? What have they done so far? Is it worthwhile? Which one is abandoned? Which one is ongoing? These and many more we'll be discussing. And to discuss this with us on the show is Mr. Adeyemi Ademiwa, Southwest Regional Coordinator of Budget Foundation. Welcome to New Dawn, sir.
Good morning.
And we have Tohib Bisiriyu, Ogun State Budget Foundation, Ogun State Officer of the Budget Foundation. Welcome, sir.
Thank you and good morning.
So I'm not alone on the show. Doinsola Ogunbadewa is here with me, and she will be firing the first shot.
I don't know why you people always leave the first shot for me to fire.
They say ladies first.
I don't even have Mr. that I'm going to use. You know. Well, it's all good. It's New Dawn, and you know now, I want to correct something because the admin said I should do it, and that is, they said I should be using all my names. That's Doinsola Akinpelu Ogunbadewa.
Okay.
If that is not too long. Well, I have done it, so please don't use me query. All right, so the topic of the day. Now, when we talk about tracking the performances of the public office holders, I believe that it has to do with the people that were elected into the office by the masses, the so-called representatives, those that we have sent to a particular office to represent us. So now, when we now talk about tracking the performance, what they have done in the office, now, whose responsibility is it really to monitor? Is it the public, or is there office that monitor for us? How do we even do that if it is our responsibility?
Thank you so much. It's good to be on the show. So when it comes to tracking the performances of public office holders, particularly those at the Senate and House of Reps, it is a collective effort. The responsibility primarily for the member of the House Committee on project monitoring and all of that. So there is a committee saddled with that responsibility at the House of the Parliament generally, both Senate and House of Reps. But more importantly, because government, like we say, cannot be done in isolation, and for dividends of democracy to get to the grassroots, we also need citizens, institutions, community-based organizations, civil society organizations to stand up to the occasion and ensure that we are all asking questions and also keeping track of these performances. So it's a collective effort of both government, private, and community-based institutions.
Okay, before we move on, let me ask Mr. Adeyemi this question, that when we talk about projects, and now, what projects are we really talking about? Is it the ones that they are supposed to do for the masses, or their personal projects? You know, now we have different projects. Yeah.
Actually, when we are talking about project, because if you look at it very well, critically, you are talking about public officials,
yeah.
and they are being saddled to implement a project that will create an enabling environment.
But they have their personal life too.
Officially, let me put it that way, they are meant to implement the project that will create an enabling environment for the society and for the economic growth to strive well. And if you look at it, this thing comes up every year, though there are some projects that overlap in a year. But the problem is that there are a lot of things that we citizens are not familiar, or maybe we don't understand, because there is law that back it up that they should be publishing a quarter performance of all these projects, so that the citizens can have access to it, can know about information, and can know, because the problem are very numerous, because most of these projects we are talking about, they are not citizens oriented. What I mean by they are not citizens oriented, that when these projects are being nominated on behalf of the populace that require it, that needed it, they are not really carried out at the process, because in democracy is a process from getting issues around the society you are representing, the challenges people are facing. Those are the things we put together to now see that which of the project is a germane, because to be factual to each other, government cannot do it all. Government can, but there are some of the projects that are very germane to human life that has to be given priority, whereby the citizens has to be initiated with the consent of the citizens.
Okay, now you mentioned something that most of the projects are not, you said they are not citizen oriented. Why did you say that?
I said that because if you are opportune to get our documents in budget as regards a project that comes year in, year out, we will discover with me that there are a lot of repetition, and it's not possible. Let me say I'm an SS3 student. I wrote one this year, and next year I still went to my dad, give me money to go and enroll for white. He has to ask me what is the outcome of the one we did last year. So you get it. So most of the projects, as far as we're concerned, I stand corrected. As far as I'm concerned, most of the projects are not. Let me say to 50%. Most of the projects are not citizens oriented, meaning that this project, from the initiation, citizens are well carried along. Citizens are involved. All information concerning that project. You know, there's some project that is not, for example, there are community, maybe water is their own issue. There are community where maybe electricity is their own issue. Now, bringing transformer to the community that electricity is not their issue is of no use. So it will not really address the problem of the society. So people are not being in line or in consent with some of these projects that are being nominated on their behalf.
No, now I think I get your point that many times they don't even get to know what the citizens want. They just go ahead with whatever they feel they want to do. All right, maybe I should just allow it.
All right, let's look at this, your reports. 2024-2025 tracker report. And I'm going to start with Mr. Adeyemi. In this report, your organization, Budget Foundation, analyzed 2,760 federal capital projects.
Yes.
If I'm correct.
Yes.
For 13 months, basically for year 2024. And the one that struck me is Ghost Project. You mentioned Ghost Project in that report. 92 Ghost Projects. All right, Mr. Taib.
All right,
you speak to that. They lump some amount of money, because I don't want us to be biased against these people, because I know it's 2024. I'm aware that there was a budget extension in 2025.
Yes.
I'm aware it extended a little bit. It's going to be extended a little bit to 2026. So which means that they on their own part, they are saying, okay, we have not done this in 2024. We can get money and do it in 2025. So is that not fair enough for us to box them in and say, okay, these are abandoned projects when they are still in the budget or extended in the year 2025?
Thank you so much. So I'd like to approach the answer in this way. First, I believe forum like this is also a platform for educating citizens. So I want to first take it from the previous question that has to do with projects before I get into that. So when it comes to projects, in the budget, where you find it is what we call the capital expenditures of the government. And now we have two major types of projects that are community oriented. We have one, we call it ERGP, Economic Recovery Growth Plan Project. And we have the ZIP, Zonal Institutional Project, often known as constituency projects. So these are the kind of projects. So for anyone who wants to find out, they get to see through those. Now, when it comes to the budget, last year was a very beautiful year. I want to use that word beautiful because really we ran almost 3 budgets in 2025. So 2024 budget was ongoing. 2025 budget was also ongoing. Then, the process of 2026 budget almost started. Now, you will see that the report is for 2024. Why? Because we tracked 2024 projects up until October 2025.
Okay.
So that means funds, we were getting details about disbursements and also projects ongoing. You will see that a lot of projects are still ongoing. 2024 projects. But then the House of the Senate says that the 2025 budget has been repealed. So what we got as information first is that only 30% of the allocation has been disbursed for 2025 budget. So it is, we have to be fair, because even they admit that, that budget, we only disburse only 30% of what is in it. So that means all of the line items in that budget, majority of them have not received funding for them, so we can't find this project. But this is for 2024, which I can tell you there are still some of them ongoing as we speak.
And you can confirm?
Yes, we can confirm that they are still ongoing, and some are already fraudulent, as we term them. We have identified some fraudulent, some are ghost, and a couple of them like that. So what we're saying in essence is 2024, 2025, 2026 almost running in 1 year was one major issue, and this is one of our clamor that we have been putting forward to the government, that let us know what budget we are running so we can know what we are working with per time. So, but now I think 2026 they have done the proposed budget for 2026, and which is an all-time high in the history of Nigeria. Again, every year we get additional content in the budget. So we are looking at what will be the ratification and what they are going to ratify the budget as, so we can know what to do. But with the look of things, I do not think that 2025 budget will see the light of the day going forward, because it has been repealed, and that means that a part of it has been taken into 2026 budget. But we hope to see what happens from there.
If you look from the eye of those in government, they will tell you that revenue is a major issue.
Absolutely.
Obviously, with the oil subsidy, tax reforms, and also get enough revenue to fund the project. But your organization is saying revenue is not the primary issue here.
Yeah.
You said this in your web.
Yes.
You said planning, execution needs to be strengthened.
Yes.
I'm quoting your report, and the need for stronger citizen-government collaboration.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Won't you think government will disagree with you on this? As much as they will want, yes, citizen-government collaboration, revenue is a major part. No money, no project.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, the reality is that when we say revenue, it's not a major problem. It is because we have done a lot of fact-finding, and we have also been to the site. We can confirm a lot of aberration. So when we say revenue is the challenge, revenue will always be issue in any government settings or any organizational settings, because resources are naturally limited. So now the resources that are now available, how do we judiciously use them? That is our own concern, that we say from what we observe on the field, we found out that there are a lot of discrepancies. So for instance, a project has been allocated, or that I've gotten a disbursement of so amount, say 100 million, and you go to the site and you can tell, even without being a professional in the field, that this project cannot be more than half of that said amount that has been disbursed. And not only that, you found out that projects are executed where they are almost not needed. And so you see that those projects are getting abandoned after commissioning for months, for years. And before you know it, they even become hideouts for people who want to perpetrate evil. A project that is supposed to serve as a beacon of hope to the community, say for instance, health first, primary health care, a new building that's supposed to be for primary or security posts. You see that it's not working. So how are you going to agree that revenue is a problem for those challenges? It is one, there is no proper community need assessment with members of the community. So, okay, this community, what do you need the most? Then we put them. But a lot of people are just nominating projects because they want their names as a facilitator, a lot of our lawmakers. Now, what that means is that there will be lack of implementation in some. There will also be the willpower for the community members to also engage, because it's not the project they need per se. They won't be willing to engage for a community that seriously or in dire need of health center, for instance, and you are giving them, say, solar ball is still even fair. You are giving them ICT center where a lot of them are not young people who want to use a high city building. Most of the high city buildings we are seeing now, I track them and I can tell you they are closed up. They are not functional, they are not operational.
What if they are closed for probably JAM registration?
No. They have not even been institutionalized to operate in that level. That is one of the challenges. They build this project, some of them are facilitated, and you see that yes, it's beautiful, well done, commissioned, and you see that there are a lot of problems.
Sorry to cut you. And funny enough, some of these projects you are talking about, as I said, about all this ICT, you see that fine, they have constructed them, they are looking okay, but the furniture or other facilities needed to make it more functioning are not in place. So they just go there just to proclaim their name that they've done this thing, and at the end of the day, the project is not used, and it's at the expense of the citizens, because like you know, the question you asked me, I think he tried to relate to it, that if all the needed or required information are being given to the citizens they have the fundamental human right to be involving in any kind of a capital project that is going on within their jurisdiction. They have the right to approach the contractor. Hey, well, good one. What are you doing? Okay. Just to be, when you work plus or whatever, they have the right to even lay the complaint to whoever is representing them. Do you know the problem we have? He said something about ZIP and ARGP. If you want to do a kind of fact check, I can tell you that there is no betterment from most of ZIP projects. What I mean by that is that ZIP projects are just meant for empowerment projects, to proclaim the name of
for clarity's sake, the ZIPs are what you call the constituency projects. So all of those are working.
So instead of ZIP, majorly are meant for major projects to find their empowerment that they are not trackable, and they just use it to proclaim their name, their party name. So at the end of the day, the vast majority are not gaining this dividend of democracy that require them to get. So that's why we don't really what in our organization, what we really love most to track are health projects, education, roads, power, and climate, yes. Because we believe anyway, these are the projects that help the community to grow and to achieve development that required. And this development we are talking about, it's not something that you can get within a tickle of an eye. It's a process. It's a process from one community to another community. But if this process has been mitigated, to get that development we are talking about is going to be a serious issue.
Okay, now you have been saying a lot of things about you've mentioned some abandoned projects, some situated in the wrong place, some not being utilized, Now, when you now continue with all these things, don't you say the ones that are being cited rightly, the ones that people tell you that, okay, this is what we want, we requested for it. Is that what you're saying?
No. Actually, there are some projects that because that is one of the things that we do while we are on stage. First thing is that, okay, are we able to ascertain the location of the project? Are we able to see the stakeholders of that community? Then we now continue to engage them that this project, is it a kind of project that you people require? Is it a project that you need, that is this a priority? And we've seen some. I cannot decline that we've seen some. But to the extent of what is required, is very, very at low performance.
Okay, now, going by what your organization is into, now let's talk about what is the reason behind people keeping quiet when, yes, now, when somebody or people you elected into the office cannot even ask you what you want. It's as if forcing food down the throat of a child. You know, when you have a child, you want to know what he or she wants to eat now before you prepare it as a mother. So now, if you have representatives and you cannot even open up to them that this is what we need, what do you think is responsible for that? Because there will be some things that are responsible for those things. Maybe they can't approach them. Maybe when they tell them they won't listen. Can you just tell us some of those?
So I'll highlight a few. So it borders around government and citizens. From the angle of the government, I do not want to assume that the government have been trying to create that knowledge gap. A lot of people are not aware of a lot of things. So what you do not know, you can't act upon to begin with. So for instance, not a lot of people know that they themselves can nominate projects on behalf of their community through their representatives. Not a lot of people know. So you see communities where there are lack of basic facilities and they cannot make requests to the government. They rather just, come on social media and cry about their situation and it ends there. But they do not know the formal processes to approach the government, perhaps because there is no enlightenment for citizens regarding that. That is number one. Then second, for those who also know, two things are involved. A lot of them are, they maintain some sense of apathy towards governance generally. You see a lot of citizens are just uninterested. They are uninterested in government activities. They are just uninterested. They just want to make money, live their private life and be okay. So you see that happening. Then for those who have the privilege of the information and also have the privilege of access to these representatives, they nominate projects that suit their own immediate needs and not necessarily the one that are communal based, that would be of benefit to the community. So the problems here or the challenges here are multifaceted. So how do we approach it then? Because we cannot highlight challenges without necessarily recommending solutions. So to begin with, I'll start with, first, there is need for enlightenment. Let us make effort from both the government part and the citizens part. And now here is where CSOs, civil society organizations, have a lot of work, because they are the bridge now that connects government and citizens. Then there is also need for citizens to be more active and to be involved. A lot of citizens are just so laid back when it comes to government activities within their constituency. And when government sees that you are laid back, they do what they think is right. Sometimes they do not do it because they are just being a pain in whatever. They are doing it because that is the best information available to them. But if they see citizens who are truly genuine and concerned about the situation of their community, recommending projects, giving recommendations, I believe things will get better.
Okay, to augment that, I think you are aware that every representative have their own constituency office, and there is obligation that's one of the way whereby the citizens can engage them due to their challenges. But it's quite unfortunate that in many federal constituencies, let me just to say, some of our these legislators don't have their offices there. So it also affects, it also makes the gap between the citizens and them to become large. And another problem, like my brother says, that some of the citizens that even have this information, they eat this information for the vast majority because of what pays them. And that is why, when we speak in one voice, we achieve a lot. So I think the orientation needs to continue, and people need to get involved in anything that has to do with government activities. Government cannot do it. At times, what we CSO does is not about criticizing government. We are even highlighting some of the things that are hidden to government themselves that they don't know that this thing is happening. And there are some things that we've highlighted, and government seek to it and do the needful. Though it's not all, but at least we are pushing it. And the cooperation of some citizens, Recently, one of our CSO went to track the project, and the citizen had to let him away that he should not track that project. And what for? Are you coming here to work against the son of the land? So get it. Oh, yes.
Those in that community.
Yes. So all those things, you need to understand what we do. Like we said, the body that this tracking of a thing is a clarion call for all. It's our call, because if an injustice to one, it's an injustice to all. So if we want to change the narrative, we are all involved in the process.
Okay, you mentioned that you have criticized maybe government.
Some believe. And maybe government believe that we criticize them, which we are not.
You are not. So what are you doing?
What we are trying to let them understand what they
maybe you are saying it's not destructive.
It's not destructive.
Constructive.
Yes.
But
you know where I'm going is have you criticized any public office holder before and it comes out positive? What has been their response to the criticism? Either positive or negative, and how do you handle it?
Personally, in Oyo State, I have an issue about a project. You know, as an NGO, we have our limitation. We can only make the community or citizens know what is going on. So, and the issue arose, which I took upon myself, and with the support of the office, we wrote to the, I think, this current Minister of Works, about a particular project that was done in Community A, proving that the thing was done in Community B. So, along the line, though, the thing just gone under the carpet, but we made our intention know that this is not a right thing. So, as CSO is concerned, we have our limitation, we can't prosecute. You know that. That is why we are even craving for involvement of EFCC and ICPC to do some. We and ICPC have been doing some tracking projects, and I think we want to strengthen that much so that we can have more results and have a robust collaboration, so that the excess of that public funds can be judiciously used for effective change in the society.
Can I just ask this question on a lighter note that why are you doing this? Are you sure it's not that you too, you have interest or you want something in your pocket?
We are doing it because when we cannot, all of us cannot be complaining without making kind of steps. And if we want to change the narrative, we need to step in. And though me, before I joined Dodges, I have passion for community development right from my immediate field. And I've been doing a lot of wonderful work. Aside budget that I have to bring up development in my community. So, you know, it's a passion work. If you don't have passion for it, you can't do it. And we believe that the changes we are talking about begins from home.
And you still believe that you won't go into politics later?
maybe
you
not.
know, we have people like you that have been fighting like this, and later you just see them joining these people.
Actually, everybody has their own belief, on their, or let me say their perspective, because some people might be doing A because they want to have B. You are right, but no one knows what tomorrow says. But politics, I don't really have. I don't really believe that for it better in the future. But Mr. Soib, there's an advocacy in some quarters about constituency projects. Now, the Constitution did not give a legislator the power to execute projects. So if a legislator spends 4 years in the National Assembly and does not execute any project, he has not committed any crime. But our people, probably for lack of knowledge of the Constitution, will demand that a senator, a House of Reps member, come and do something for the community. Now, and he can't take money from his pocket to do a public project. Now, some are advocating the outright cancellation of what they call, or what we call, constituency projects.
All right.
With what you've seen and with the tracker reports, would you agree with this? Those that are advocating this?
Okay, so here is the thing. It's a culture. It has become a culture that citizens gauge the performances of their elected legislative officers by the number of projects, not by the number of motions they move, not by the number of bills they contribute to, and this is where the big issue is. So you will see senators or House of Rep members who are willing to contribute meaningfully at the floor of the House, and and oversight functions and all of that. But because they are not doing much in the field in their constituency, people are not willing to support them. So as politicians now think, okay, we have to devise a plan. Let's just give them what they want. So I want to believe that is the case. Now it will take a lot of effort for Nigerians to have a turnaround in perspective. So the paradigm shift that has to happen will take a longer period for people to understand that the primary objective of a legislator is not to facilitate or execute a project. But now, because they are the one representing constituencies, they can nominate projects when budget proposition is being done. They can nominate projects into that budget as line items, but they are not supposed to by any means have any hands in executing that project. That is why they cannot, even if they have a company of their own, that company does in the constitution cannot get projects from the government to execute, especially in their constituency. You understand where these challenges are. So should we give the outright cancellation of that ideology? I think we should take it gradually. I wouldn't say we should completely eradicate that because it's not practical. That is one. So I would also want it to start getting into extinction. That practice, that culture should begin to go into extinction. Let MDA handle the process. Let CBOs, civil society organizations, nominate projects, throw them to the National Assembly, and let MDAs come and execute. So now you will see that they also do not lay claim to execution. It is only people who target to them. They say they are facilitators. That is what they do because they understand the Constitution and they understand whatever aberration that would be caused in the process. But people, our people, they say it is this person that does. So tell me what this person is doing. Why is this senator doing this one and this senator is not doing? So definitely we won't support this senator because this senator is doing.
Yes, they cannot even feel the impact.
You see the problem? So they think that this senator is. In fact, some people believe that senators who facilitate projects are doing it out of their own magnanimity to the community. So you see they hail them to high heavens. Why it is important to appreciate the effort of our public office holder. I think hailing them to high heavens for using taxpayer money or for facilitating the process of using taxpayer money to give taxpayers dividends of democracy is just so backward.
Okay, well, you can't completely blame our people. My next question is, Mr. Ademi.
I want to add to what he said.
Yes, you add to it. I want to speak to this one also. Okay. Who corrects the notion in the mind of the people? Because if we don't
correct it,
90% of the population have the impression, then how would we now take the step to correcting it? That okay, this man is contributing so much on the floor of the National Assembly. He doesn't have a constitutional responsibility to execute projects for you.
Actually, let me, like I said, I want to start with where he stopped. As we know that the obligation of the legislator is to push bill. During Obasanjo regime, which is 1999, when all these legislators go back to their constituency to cast and to plead for a vote, people started asking them that if you vote for you, what's going to be in return? What's going to be something that will develop our constituency? That is what brought up constituency projects. You get my point? It's not that constituency project is in the law before, but that is what aided. And even these so-called legislators are even making use of it to campaign. Why they are going to all the rural communities, if you vote for us, the water that is not doing well, we rectify it. So that has been the base for many people. But as you said that, how can we create the notion that these are not there? It's part of what we CBOs does, or NGOs or CSO. But I think that is where I say NOA still need a lot of work in this regard. Because you need to continue sensitizing people even in a local language that people understand. Because people will be telling that I've heard of somebody that got a motorcycle as a constituency, and the person after getting it, he sold it off.
At least we use the money to do something.
But you know that the purpose of that project has been fortified because he got it on the platform that he's a loyalist. to that person on a political platform. And that's the more reason that we in our organization believe that, I'm not saying the empowerment projects are not good, but we don't really believe much on it. Because we don't believe on what if a legislator is facilitating a project, that project must augment maybe what executive in that state, because it's executive that are meant to execute capital projects. But at least every project has their own levels and jurisdictions. So that is all. As I said, if they should push it, it's going to be a process, and a lot of enlightenment has to come through that.
So talking about enlightenment, both of you have been saying that these people should be educated, they should be enlightened, they should know that it is not compulsory that someone in office should do a project for them and the rest.
A legislator.
A legislator, yeah. Thank you. So now, when you keep saying this, you mentioned National Orientation Agency. They have a lot to do. But you too can do it. You are closer to these people. You mentioned that you go to the field, you go to the communities to ask them if a particular project is being cited there, that, okay, is this okay for you? Is this what you really want? Why don't you just help out? Then maybe you go around, orientate them, let them know that you have rights to tell your legislator what you want. Yes, I think that should be part of your...
It's not part of that's our first priority. We do that because we have what we call a town hall meeting. We organize town hall meeting for some community, or we can meet with some artisans. We educate them how they can make better of their community and their fundamental human rights they have towards pushing bills. That's why we talk about before a project can be nominated, it has to pass what we call public opinion polls, dialogue, or what have you, which some of our legislators are avoiding many times. So it's part of what we do. And funny enough, in the Jesus disciples, there is Judas. Yes, there are parts of them, or some of them, that act like a Judas. Let me start an example. There is a community far in Ogdomosho in Ibadan. In our state. Back, I used to go to that community because they fetch water where the camel drink. So it got a time, some of our people from office now came, our documentary crew, they came that let us do some kind of, a man now came that they should not allow them to do that. Later on, we got to know that this man is closer to the federal rep representing that community. I see the problem before we get there.
So he's benefiting from the man, and he wants to be benefiting.
But even, we have problem at the top, we have the problem at the middle, and we have the problem at the grassroots ourselves. So that's the orientation has to be a continuum. And
then you cannot blame them. Maybe we are the problem here. I mean the subject. Because if you know that this thing is not good for your community, but because you are benefiting from it, one of those are supposed to protest against it, and because you are benefiting from such a legislator, you just shut your mouth and you watch others suffering for what they are not supposed to suffer for. So I don't see the fault of government here or the legislator, so to say. But now let's come to this reality that there are some things like if you say that you want to track projects, there are some platforms that I believe should be used, which online, the internet is one of it. And you see the way people use it. Some use it positively, some negatively. Yes, like your organization, if you come up and you put something there, don't be surprised when you see the comments of the people. Many may not be positive. So now I don't even know where you people are going to start. There are a lot of issues in this nation, not just in the southwest, because you've been mentioning some towns here, but we need to just get to the roots of this matter. But my problem is, can we even trust you, the NGOs? Because if we get to a point, we have so many NGOs like this that have cropped up, and they will say that they are fighting for the masses, they should do this, they should do that. They will instigate people, and after that, push them forward. At the same time, once they are forward, they step back.
All right, so I'd like to mention that to begin with, Budget Foundation, it's already 14 years running, doing the same thing, and we have Tracker is a unit, a subset under budget, and Tracker is the main organization that does the tracking. That's why we got the name Tracker. So we are 12 years running Tracker, budget 14 years running.
I didn't
Now, yeah, what that means is that there is a long-standing reputation for true accountability of governance and community development.
Okay.
Right? And how do we do it? And what do we do with communities? It's pretty simple. What we do is first simplify budgets for citizens to understand what it means. All those technical jargon you find in documents in the budget, we simplify it. In fact, we do bar chart, pie chart, simplify. Okay, this is what this ministry is getting. This is what this agency is getting. This is the amount this is getting. So you understand where your money is going as taxpayers. Not only that, in your own community, these are the projects that have been nominated by your representatives. So begin to be on the lookout. But we do not do this haphazardly. We have digital tools that we use, and we recommend each time we go to communities to do what we call sensitizations and media engagements like this. We have a lot of media engagement that we do, and we do encourage people to use those platforms. They are open. It is not us trying to say we are selling a platform. They are open platform that anyone can get to. In fact, if anyone wants to know the amount that their local government receives as FAC allocation every month, there is a platform for it. Okay, you yourself, you know that my local government gets this amount every month. Yet there will be the issue of, okay, is this money going straight to the local government pockets, based on this issue of local government autonomy, this and that. That's a different case. But your local government gets certain amount of money. Why can't you be aware of, why can't you know that amount every month? So we have a platform where you can get that.
Can you share?
Of course. So that's what I'm going to begin with. How do we know how much that has been disbursed? Because yes, we need to also be very, very real. There's a difference between allocation and disbursement. So I'd like to explain.
Okay.
Allocation is, in the budget, we say that we want to build ultra-modern market in a local community. So we have allocated ₦1 billion, for instance, for that project. At the time of the execution, the government disburses, say, 230 million naira. That's roughly 20-something% of that. So we cannot hold government officials accountable for what is allocated, but rather we hold them accountable for what is disbursed. So we have to be fair. So now, how much has been disbursed? You can find it on GovSpend.
GovSpend.
G-O-V spend. That is government spending. That kind of G-O-V spend. Just type GovSpend on Google and it will take you there. So now you can now begin to search the per budget year, 2024, anywhere you want to check. Per MDA, per community, just type Ogun State in the search button and put the budget here. And you can even say per amount range. Search and you'll see all the details that Ogun State will bring out, for instance. Even you can go as far as saying the local government, even a community. If there are projects that have been truly funds disbursed for projects in that community, you will see them in that GovSpend. That is one. We have open states. Now, open state is, because we've been talking about federal government projects, open state is for states. You need to know what is the performance of state government budgets. All of the 36 states in Nigeria, just go to openstate.ng. Open state.
All small case.
Anything you type, you can type it on Google, open state, and you will see per state performance, in fact, quarterly performance of state government when it comes to the budget, all they do, the allocation, the revenue, everything you will see it on open state. Now we also have tracker.ng. That is where you can see where the project that we have tracked, uploaded, to see details. So these are not hidden platforms. They are platforms anyone can access to see what is going on, per all of this, and then you get information. So if you are not now clear of certain information, you can reach out to any of the, because budget, for instance, we have state officers across all over 30 states currently. The only issue we have with a few states is that there are some states that have peculiarity, sometimes security, for instance, that you can't even want to track projects there.
You're not supposed to be afraid now.
They are security prone environment.
Are you afraid?
No, it's not that you can't go there. It's just natural that you can't even go from communities to track projects. For instance, there are a number of issues in a particular part in Kwara now. Our Kwara state officer cannot go there because of what is happening. So that is just on the side. So anyone can. How do we do it? Anyone can actually track projects. We are not saying that we are the alpha and omega of project tracking. We are part of the bodies that help citizens to get the understanding of how project is being tracked.
Okay, let me just ask you this simple question. Why are you doing this?
Okay, thank you. You've asked before, so I'll answer.
Answer.
Budget has been standing, like I said, it has a long-standing reputation of the number of years that has been operating. The essence is to ensure that accountability, we are not the only organization, but we ensure that accountability of government is what we hold, to a high esteem, and we have been working on that. So why do we do it? We just want communities. So a number of organizations, like I said, why do we do it? I'll tell you. Some of our sources, the reason why we continue to do it, we ought to have stopped based on a lot of challenges, but we continue doing for a number of reasons. There's something we call success stories in our organization. We have seen over time that sometimes the engagement of civil society organizations, now budget and tracker, has triggered the proper implementation of some projects. Because what we do is we find out discrepancies. We write FOI letters. We write letters to agencies to say this project has been in your jurisdiction, it's been in your agency, it's been in your department, it's been in your ministry. We know that this amount has been disbursed, but we can't provide details. Sometimes that put them on their toes. Because it put them on their toes, we see that we are doing something meaningful. We are doing something that is helping the Nigeria move forward. So in that line, we have to continue. Right. Why are we doing it? Simple for development of the nation.
Our time is almost up. But I would like to ask Mr. Ademuyiwa this question. If you are sitting down with President Tinubu, the governors, and the National Assembly members today, what reforms will you want them to put in place to guide against abandoned projects and what budget termed fraudulent projects?
Firstly, I will advise that all the process involved in the project execution should be publicly published. That's one. But the question that we ask them, that I'll put out to them, is not even what we ask. That they should just ensure that local government autonomy stands. Because when there's development in every local community, there is development in every. I know if there is supposed to be a kind of continuity and strong synergy between federal, state, and local. So whatever is in jurisdiction of the federal do it rightly. For state do it right. And state should give room for local government to strive. If local government did not strive, we can never experience the development we are talking about. Hope you know that.
Okay, before we go, now you have mentioned it earlier that we all can track the projects. Now, I want you to mention some ways and what to look for when we want to track a project.
All right, thank you so much. So when we want to track project, it is very simple. The first is you have to be armed with the information. Now, how do you get information? You need to know your maybe per community or per local government, for instance, or within a particular area. You want to know the details about project there, or let's say you don't even have access to project, but you see that a project is ongoing. You can see for yourself. So what you do is go to that project site. Let's say it's a construction of a road or a borehole facility or even street lights. You will see where there is supposed to be a signpost that has the agency, ministry, the title of the project. Example of the title is construction of 1.6 kilometer from Ladin to train station. Ladin Road to train station. That's the title. Then you see agency, Ministry of Works, federal. Then you will see contractor, the name of the contractor there. What you would do
the time lag
as a citizen is take that details, search online to know how much was allocated, how much was disbursed. We have told us how to get disbursement. Go to GovSpend. Sometimes you may not find that details because the details is supposed to be uploaded from a particular office within the federal government. But sometimes we have issues with that. Based on the fact that sometimes governments themselves do not want these details to be out. But we have been pushing and it's working. So there's something called open data governance where we're supposed to have access to funds that have been released. At least that have been released. We are not the one who got it. So let us know how much was released and who got it, right? So if you do not get the details, no problem. But keep on with the project. engage the contractor. How long is this project supposed to take? Act like a citizen. Be friendly with them.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to know this project. It is something that we have been, anticipating. What the details about? How long is it going to go? From what stretch to what stretch are you going to do this project? From there, you can begin to ask questions. Then engage your community, like CDAs. And so I saw this project. Oh, this one. Then if that is not working, we have our own officers, budget for instance, across all states. I am the one in Ogun State. He's the one in Oyo, also managing Southwest. So we have across states. And our details are always online, so you can search for budget, tracker in particular. We have Twitter, we respond to mails, we respond to DMs. We can take anything of that in a proper and formal way, and we get results. So it is pretty simple, but if you want to start from scratch, you can go to the budget. You can always have access to the Nigerian budget. Just type it online, you will see the budget, then you will see projects per local government, per state, by local government, then look at your own local government or community, then begin to see is there disbursement already? If there's no disbursement, you can confirm. You can't say you want to track yet. But if there's disbursement, you can begin the process of tracking. You go to the site. And do you notice any change? Ask people there, what are they telling you? If there are changes, then you can say project is ongoing. Then you can give us reports for us to continue the tracking process so ensure we get the
However, if you got all those projects and without disbursement, that doesn't mean you cannot still push it. You can still continue. Try to ask some question around it. For this project to have been nominated, that means something is there. So, and we don't need to relent on anything that has to do with the public funds as time goes on, because it is our money and it has to be judiciously used to effect change we want.
Okay, change we want. I wanted to ask you a question, but our time is up. we have to go, because this is in an election year. It's also a pre-election year. And you're going to see so many projects being commissioned.
That's true.
Some that will be useful after the commissioning. According to your report, some will not be useful.
Even some are for standard
project.
After the commission, but our time is up. Maybe some other time when you come to the show, we will ask.
More than willing to come again,
All right. So I want to say a big thank you to our guest, Mr. Adeyemi Ademuyiwa, Southwest Regional Coordinator of Budget Foundation. Thank you so much for coming. I'm Mr. Toyi Bisri, Ogun State Officer, Budget Foundation. Thank you for coming.
It's been my pleasure.
And we have been talking about tracking, so you have the website that you can go to check how much has been disbursed. You have the website you can go to know what your state has collected per every month from the federal allocation. But I want to say a big thank you to you for joining us from 8 o'clock on New Dawn, and we have to go now.
Well, I don't have much to say, but there is this mantra that we've been saying since the inception of this administration, and that is change begins with me. So if you want change to begin with you, really, make sure you get to the roots of that project going on in your community. Doyinsola Akitelu Ogunbadewa is my name. Thank you for watching. Bye.